Hi children, today we are going to study about the new chapter income from salaries, section 15 to 17. We'll understand very slowly with respect to the salary. Before understanding or going to the chapter of salary, we'll understand what do you mean by gross total income. Why we are talking about the gross total income? Because in this the five head of income is, in the definition it states the five head of income. So we'll see what exactly do we mean by a gross total income. See, gross total income is a sum of all the total income. All the total income in the sense we have a five heads of income. That is income from salary, income from house property, profit and gains from business or profession, income from capital gains, income from other sources. See, all the income put together, we term that as a gross total income. One more definition we can say like this. The aggregate income under various head of income, that is a five head of income, before deduction under section 80C to 80U, that is also termed as a gross total income. Okay, children, we have understood the gross total income. Why I told? Because we are studying the first level of income, that is income from salary. We are from section 15 to 17. Okay, children, we'll go to the next one. We'll understand in very precise way, what do you mean by a salary? Salary, we all know the definition, or we know what exactly is salary. Why? Because everyone will be getting the salary. Okay. See, salary means an amount or money received by a person for the service or the work rendered. Okay. Or money received by an employer for the work done. Or it is a regular or a periodical payment made by an employer to his employee. These all different terms. We can say it as a salary in general. Now, when we start the chapter with the income from salary, the very first section, section 15, talks about the chargeability of salary. How salary can be chargeable. See, every income states that the first section always states about the charging section. The first section, we call it as a charging section. Here's 15, we call it as charging section. How it is called a charging section? See, according to the Income Tax Act 1961, Indian government or central government, what we can say, central government, has a right to collect the tax from every citizen through this section, section 15. It says the central government has a right to collect tax from an individual who exceeds the income tax slab. That is chargeability section. What it says again in this, any salary received in advance, we do consider. Any arrears of salary, arrears means basically outstanding of salary, and any due salary, this all can be chargeable under this section. Okay, children, now we go to the condition of the salaries. There are certain conditions that has to be fulfilled in term of for the calculation of income under salaries. Very first condition is that there should be a relation between employer and employee. There should be a relation between employer and employee. Existence of master and servant. Existence of payer and payee. We'll understand with an example. What do you mean by this employer and employee? Employer basically we call it as a owner. Employee is a person who does the work, or he fulfills the needs of the employer. See, a person working in a company for salary. Example, you can take me itself. I am working in a company. At the end of the month, I am receiving the salary paid by the owner of the company. So there is a relation between employer and employee. Employer is paying to me for my service or the work rendered within the company. Likewise, we come to the second example. I'm working consider that I'm working in a college. Every end of a month, I've been paid by the college management. So again, there is an existence of a relation between the employer and employee. Employer here is the management, employee is me. This is the third example. In the university, they have called me for the correction of a paper examination. Then after the end of the session, they paid me a certain remuneration. Okay. So here, do there an existence of a employer and employee relationship? Absolutely no. They called me and assigned me the work for a few days. It is a part payment, or it is not a periodical payment. I followed the instruction where for a few days they paid me a certain remuneration. There is no existence of a relationship between an employer and employee, and this income is attracted in income from other source. It does not fall under income from salaries. Understood, children? Next, one more example. Salary paid to a member of parliament or member of legislative assembly. See, these are elected bodies, representative. So for them, any salary is paid from the government. It does not treat as an relation between employer and employee. It does not fall under the category of income from salaries. It do attract income from other source. There is no relation of employer as well as employee. They are for a very short term, say for 5 years or 6 years, where the salary will be paid from the government, elected representatives. So there is no relation of employer as well as employee. Okay. So it is attracted to income from other source. One more example. A partner receiving salary from a partnership firm. It is again not treated as it does not come under the head income from salaries. It is treated under the head income from business, profit and gains from business or profession. Why? Because again, there is no relation of employer as an employee. He is a partner, even though we call that as a partner salary. He is the owner. So there is no relation of employer and employee. Understood, children? So in salary, very most important thing, there should be a relation of employer and employee. Next comes, here the salary will be attracted whether an assessee or a person may be a full-time or a part-time. Full-time, say he works from morning 5 to 6. Part-time in the sense from 2 to 5. Even though it is attracted or treated as a salary and it is covered under income from salaries. Next, more than one employer. If an individual is working or a person is working with more than one or two employer, maybe from morning he may be working with one employer and in the afternoon he may be with the other employer. So even though if he works with number of employees, all at the end, all put together and one computation of salary statement will be prepared. So under the head income from salaries, one statement will be prepared and the tax will be declared accordingly. Method of accounting. See, this is very, very important. Method of accounting is maybe on due basis or receipt basis, whichever is earlier. We'll understand what do we mean by a due basis. Due basis is a complete recipient of the salary may not be done. For example, salary will be paid for 12 months in a year. From April to February, I have received the salary. Okay. During the previous year, I have received from April to February. March month salary, due to some problem, the employer may come and say, this March month may not be paid in the end of the March, that we are going to pay in the next month, maybe April 10th. That it falls in the next year, not in this year, next year. So basically, what we need to pay, we have to declare for 12 months. But anyway, we are going to receive that salary in the March month salary will be received in the next year, April month. But what our Income Tax Act 1961 states that whatever may be earlier, either due base or the receipt base. So here, since I have not received the salary in this period itself, but I'm yet to going to receive the salary in the coming year, but we do consider as 12 months salary for the calculation of the income tax. That is a due basis. I'm going to receive that salary anyway, so that the income tax, they will say that you have to consider it. So 12 months we are going to calculate even though I have not received for the 12th month. That is due base. Receipt base in the sense, receipt, I have received all 12 months salary, for example. and I may be I am in need of money. I go to the my this employer and I say, sir, due to I have to pay the tuition fee for my child, can you give me 1 month advance salary? He will accept. He will say, okay, I'll give it. So how many months salary I have received? 13 months salary. So for the calculation of the income tax sake, I'm going to consider all 13 months. So this is the due base or the receipt base. This is very, very important while calculating the salary. So method of accounting for income from under the head salary is due base or receipt base, whichever is earlier. Very important. Next, we come to the foregoing salary. Foregoing salary is nothing but a sacrifice of salary. Sacrifice of salary, that means when I'm receiving the salary from my employer, I do say 1 week salary, I want to donate for charity. Even though I donate the money for charity purpose, that will be charged for tax. While calculating, that amount will be considered. But later on, after the computation of gross total income, the deduction will be made and this will be subtracted from the deduction under section 80G. That is sacrifice of salary. Next, we are going to talk about surrender of salary. Here, see, surrender of salary. I do completely, I say, I don't want my salary. I'll completely surrender it to the voluntary surrender of salary to central government. If I surrender any salary, my salary to the central government, it is completely exempted from tax. No tax will be deducted. So directly while calculating, we mention it as a zero. We will not show the amount over there. So that is surrender of salary. So two things we need to remember. One is a foregoing salary. That's nothing but a sacrifice of a salary. Surrender of salary is totally exempted while calculation. Okay, understood, children. We'll go to the next one. Next one is a definition of salary. Definition of salary under section 17, subsection 1. Section 17 defines salary, which includes the following: wages, the same definition as salary. Basically, we call that any amount received by an employee from his employer for the service rendered. Salary may be a periodical payment. Wages may be a very like a small payments that we call it as a wages. Annuity or pension. Pension is a periodical payment received by the past employer for the service rendered in past. Pension, basically, we receive the amount after the retirement. That is on monthly like salary that we'll be receiving for the service rendered for number of years will be paid by an employer to his employee. That we call it as a pension. Any gratuity. Gratuity is basically amount paid by an employee for at the time of his retirement for the gratitude done by an employee. See, once gratuity, normally we say if an employee actually worked for more than 5 years, then a certain amount will be kept aside and will be paid to an employee whenever he requires. That is a gratuity. That later on we study in detail with respect to the gratuity. Now we are going to that gratuity is included in the definition of a salary. So it also considered as a salary for the service rendered by an employee to his employee for several years that he has rendered service, that we call it as a gratuity. Any fees, extra work done, any commission based on the turnover percentage, perquisites, benefit received by an employee from his employer, any advance salary before itself, before the salary date, any amount which is received as a salary, that we call it as an advance salary. Leave encashment salary, any employee credit leave which he has not availed leave and the amount is received credited to his account for that as a leave salary, we call that as an encashment of leave salary. Annual accretion, that is basically an accretion, contribution made by an employee in excess of 12% of salary and interest above 9.5% of salary, that will be taxable. Any contribution made to the recognized provident fund. Last, transferred balance of unrecognized provident fund. Any unrecognized, this will balance standing on the credit of an employee transferred to an employee provident fund that is taxable. So this basically is the salary definition, which includes under section 17, subsection 1. Children, you need to by heart this definition. Maybe the definition carries for 2 marks or something. By heart the definition. Meaning later on, one by one, we will study in detail. Okay, hope so, children, you have understood in a very precise way. Thanks, children. Thanks a lot for watching. If there is any doubt, just get back to me in the comment section so I can solve your problems. Thank you.